Richard Bruce here. So I did some tests recently and I saw some pretty shocking stuff which is going to taint me for a lot of you, and I'll probably lose a lot of you with this. I was pretty shocked and dismayed by it, but really in retrospect it isn't too hard to see how these types of errors can be made. What I saw was what appears to be shapeshifting on myself, including very reptilian slit eyes that are quite definite in that shape, and skin morphing with patterns, and a mouth widening that is the what I noted on some people where it looks like it opens up and there's like little jaggy teeth inside of it, kind of a smaller version of what I've been revealing lately on some of these movies, and pattern shapes and shape changes all throughout the face, which if I had not known who it was, if it wasn't me, I would be pretty suspect of that person. Okay, so what about this? What is it? The bottom line to it is I don't know. There's one of two major possibilities. Either it is shapeshifting, demonic possession, or a simple camera error and the texture that you're seeing is naturally occurring film grain. However, my question would be why the patterns? And this may have a more mundane explanation rather than something supernatural like shapeshifting or demonic possession. The pattern shapes that I noticed could be like a rainbow is a pattern of light, and you can see certain patterns when you shoot video. You can see little hexagons, you can see little vertical bars of light sometimes when you hit a light and you see that vertical thing. I'm thinking that might be what it is, but I don't want to try to make it look like I'm going to downplay it, trying to excuse it that it could be actually demonic possession and or possibly like a latent shape shifting, and this is why I've been so interested in this subject. So the bottom line to it is, without a controlled test study, I really can't tell what it is, what exactly is going on here. And I think that it would take like at least 20 people in a control group, which I don't have the ability to put together. So it's going to be kind of a situation where all I can do is just show this, and then, you know, as time goes on and more people get interested in it, and people who are able to put together a control study to look at video shapeshifting can get to this. But overall, I still didn't see some of the larger effects on myself that you see in some of the reptilian exposure movies that I've done. So I still am a believer, but I can understand how some people, and even myself, while I was looking at this, I was just saying to myself, whoa, I mean, could this be all just video errors? And it's all a bunch of hype over nothing. But I don't, I mean, that possibility seems rather slim because of the very specific shapes. I mean, that last one I did with that bird eye, I mean, where do you get that bird eye? And but you know, it is possible. I mean, we don't know all what might be going on with video compression. You know, who knows what else might be at play, even like some sort of energy in the air or an auric field that causes some of these textures. But I did notice before that the dripping or the swirling and the lumping pattern textures was not just on the faces, but it's on the scenery behind them. But I was thinking at the time that maybe it's some sort of energy that surrounds the reptilian shapeshifters, and that's why you get those patterns. But with this, you really, you know, you're going to freak out when you see this. I kind of freaked out when I saw it, and I thought to myself, "Gee, am I a shapeshifter?" And it could be. It could be. That's why I'm interested in it. However, somebody sent me a link to this guy named Chris LaSala, and he's got these videos on demons and his exorcism work, and it's really quite fascinating, along with the book that I read recently by Howard Pittman, Placebo, talking about the demons. And I think that for a lot of this, that we may be looking at demons, but I would also say don't be simple in your thinking, such as I believe the people who are saying there are no extraterrestrials, there are no other planets, it's only demons that we're seeing, or devils that we're seeing. I'd say that there are demons impersonating extraterrestrials, but I don't think all of astrology is a lie. I'm sorry, astronomy is a lie. Astrology, yeah, maybe that's more of a lie. But astronomy, with all the planets and stars, there's been too many people throughout history that have seen other planets. So far, I think that there is extraterrestrials, there is extraterrestrial life, and that may have nothing to do with Satan and demons and devils, but I don't know. I haven't been to another planet, so I can't be sure. I would say it's pretty hard to fake all the footage, satellite footage and high altitude footage of the Earth, and you see the curvature, so it is a sphere, and people have been looking at their telescopes for at least hundreds of years and have seen, other planetary bodies, and to say that they're all empty and the entire galaxies and everything else is empty except for us doesn't make sense. That's why I still believe in extraterrestrials, and until I really get a chance to prove it otherwise, my opinion is going to remain that, because I just think it's too hard to fake all the footage that and the points of evidence that lead to the possibility of other planets and stars. Though I do believe there is massive deception going on, and that Satan and the demons and everything, a lot of what that is, UFO impersonation, alien impersonation, in order to trick people into thinking that they're extraterrestrials. And I think real extraterrestrials have come here and they've copied them, so then it looks so very realistic. And they maybe even have commandeered their craft, and who knows what else. But anyway, let me get to the main thing and show you this, because it's going to be pretty shocking for some of you. It was shocking for me, and we just have to press forward and be truthful with whatever we find. So like I said, it's either I'm a latent shapeshifting, or the shapeshifting is a result of demonic possession, or it's a naturally occurring film grain of some kind, or film anomalies. Even the slit eyes is a result of the compression, because the camera compresses and then the video editor compresses, and so by the time you're seeing it, it's been compressed at least twice, and who knows what else is going on. But I saw it on the first camera shot, and you really see slit eyes, and if I didn't know me, I would say that person was a reptilian shapeshifter. But again, it could also be that I'm either have demons, and I think, by the way, the scripture and everything else that I've heard about demons, everybody has demons. So what this could be is a reptilian being living right in me, looking out my eyes, and that's why you see those slit eyes like that. And it could be that's all part of my personality because of these indwelling demons, which my personality would be entirely different if all of those demons were cleared out. And this, you got to check out the Chris LaSala. It says "Attacking Satan in Jesus' Name" is his website, and then you can see all of his videos from there. But really, it's we all have these demons, and it's a part of us. So this would be no surprise. And I just was listening to one of his videos, and it says that this one demon is confirming for him that the shape-shifting is real. It's just that they're not aliens. They're just demons, which seems very plausible. In fact, my reading of scripture is that the beasts are from the earth, and that they were actually made after Adam, according to the chronology of the scripture. Okay, so here it is. Check it out. All right, and so here is a test I did of a far shot, and I just wanted to show you guys that the demon of baldness got me. Pretty nasty looking, huh? Okay, so I did a walking towards you far shot to see if I could get a similar effect that I've gotten on a lot of people, and I got a few minor effects, but nothing like what I got on Rod Piper, for instance, more recently, and some others. I think that I've got that far shot where you really see these anomalies, but I noticed like some bleeding. You'll notice on my left side there where it's darker, and there's really a pretty strong argument that that's only a film error. But if you look at it, you'll see it fluctuating. You'll see color from the trees come in. You'll see that discoloration on my chin, and it looks like it could be, there could be a shape-shifting effect, or a sign of a demonic whatever influencing the image. I think it's largely color bleeding. if you had to take a guess, or if I had to take a guess, it's, you know, and especially with this, I mean, this one is really, I didn't get a good resolution on it. You can see a lot of the, I use a zoom on the lens, so the pixels are really spread apart. But there's a few things you can notice, like for instance, you'll notice my left eye is larger and darker than the right eye. And it could be because it's more, well, actually, no, that's the side that's facing the sun, so you'd think it might be lighter. But you see that it could be that's an effect of shape-shifting, which may have to do with demonic possession and or possibly, as I mentioned, latent shape-shifting event. But you can see a discoloration, you can see these kind of strange shape changes. And I know that skeptics, of course, will just say, you know, oh, well, this is so far and it's non-specific that it, you know, surely is a filming error. But those of us who have seen enough to know that there is something going on will realize that, you know, you got to look at everything carefully. And, you know, this is an emerging science, so we have to, you know, look at everything and try to be reasonable about what we're seeing. But one thing again is that I did not see anything that remotely approaches the odd shapes that I've gotten on some others with this far shot where there's a lot of distance between the subject and the lens. And now here is a, I did some testing to get some rapid motion in a low light situation, and here is where I really got some effects, especially on the dark side, but even on the light side with this, I got full reptilian slit eyes and patterning, that green, see those green splotches? You see all those green splotches, and not only that, but there's a pattern to them that seems to follow the features of the face. However, also you'll notice they go off into the wall, and you see there is a very reptilian slit eye. I mean, is that a demon looking out of my eyes right there? And I say, I don't know, and it certainly could be. I'm going to look at whatever truth might be there, and, you know, maybe I am a serpent, or like my spirit is a serpent or a beast, and that's why you get that. Or it could be, once again, a video error where, because of the unique properties of the pupil, you get a strange spreading of the light, and for some reason it spreads down, and that could largely be what we're seeing on TV, rather than slit eyes being, you know, and I know you paranoids are going to be saying I'm trying to explain away this whole thing because now it's showing up on me, and oh, it's embarrassing. Look how bad that looks. Oh my God, I'm a reptilian. Ah. But no, it really could be. I'm saying it could be. I don't know. It could be demonic possession. It could be latent or hidden sort of reptilian features. And again, this is showing up in low light, and I specifically did these tests for a low light test. You see all those little patterns, those little green patterns, and you notice the strange shape it makes in my ear too. And I think in low light situations, or in, you know, where the photons from the camera lens to the subject are weak because they don't have enough light to carry them strongly, you start getting these amalgamations of shapes. And you see here is the tiles that you get, and I can really see these strange patterns, which when I was looking at this, studying videos, this just seemed those patterns seemed too organic, too specific to be a filming error. That's why I thought that they were reptilian shape-shifting or having to do with it. You know, somehow that shows up. Look at those tiles around my eyebrow there. They follow the shape, the curvature of the eyebrow. And then with the reptilian slit eye underneath it, I mean, this looks like a shapeshifter. Except that if that's true, I would be sure to tell you I haven't been deceiving you. This is the first time I've seen it. But take a look at that. I mean, if I wasn't being fully open and honest about this, you'd say this guy is trying to hide his reptilian reality. And you see that? You see those clumps? And then when you shift to black and white, those splotches that show up especially in the dark take on a textured appearance where instead of that green and red, what you get is little craters, little patterns, looks like little craters in the flesh. And I just don't know exactly what we're looking at. I'm sure there's somebody who knows more about this. They could expound more on exactly why you get those splotches, those patterns, and why it seems to follow the face. But as far as the smaller shapes go, it looks like it's a film grain effect that seems to either be demon possession, serpent shape-shifting, or video compression. But it looks nasty. But according to people like Chris LaSala and Howard Pittman, we all have at least several demons, and many people have like 20 or 30 of them, and there's all different kinds, specialized demons. And this is what's really hard to believe, because that's why I didn't really get into demonology too much, because it's so abstract, and it's so weird, it's so beyond our ability to put any sort of rational study of it, because demons, it's like you get into this whole, you get into the whole spiritual aspect of it, and then it's difficult to study. But this could be, what people really are seeing. This is the real issue, not even so much the serpents, who I do think are a physical race, and they do shapeshift, but maybe a lot of what we're seeing with the shapeshifting, the reptilian slit eyes and so forth, is in fact demon possession. And again, I'm not going to say that it's not, and that it's just a filming error. And I also noticed, as you'll see coming up, one of those mouths with the jaggy teeth inside of it. And that's what's really weird, because you can actually see the jaggy teeth, and then you ask yourself, what is it? Look at that. It looks like a reptoid. So have I been a reptoid this whole time? But then let's say, take also if it was just a camera errors, then I think why all the helicopter and airplane aerial harassment attention. See if it was just nothing. And here also you get a lot of these angles to the iris, and you say, well, how come we're getting this angles? I think it might have to do with, again, the unique properties of the eye. It's shooting a beam of some kind. Whenever you're looking at something, there is an energy beam shooting out of your eyes and hitting things, and what you're seeing is an effect that has on the lens, which is why the pupil gets spread out like that. Or it's a serpent. I don't know. It's a serpent demon. A demon that is a serpent. But if I was a shapeshifter that actually shapeshifted from human to reptile, which I don't think is the case, but if that was the case, I think I would have noticed it by now. I would have noticed something. And I think when you're a shapeshifter, you know it. And when you have enough DNA to shapeshift, you are aware of it, and I think they're aware of it. That's why they call them the Watchers. They are on the lookout for any of their kind that might emerge, possibly unexpectedly, from a certain bloodline, and they might start to shapeshift, and in order to keep their secret, they quickly get that person in the fold, or kill them, or erase their memory, or do something to them to keep them from blabbing about it, because secrecy is what these creatures need the most, apparently. Also, I noticed with the reptilian slit eye here, you'll notice that on my left eye there, it bleeds beyond the flesh once again. And so that's something that I've noticed in previous shots. And so all this could be the whole time, embarrassingly enough, as it is for me and for many others who have seen these reptilian slit eyes, is all it is a video error. But then again, like I said, why all the aerial harassment and this whole thing? They just did a night buzz on me. By the way, they did a big circle around in the middle of the night, and I call it the victory lap. They like to do a victory lap on me whenever they, feel like they've got a victory on me, because they really hate me. And this guy that I just showed this thing, poor guy parked in his RV behind me, had to be woken up at 2:30 a.m. with this massive circling around. They circled around like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, but plenty loud enough to wake up everybody in the area, at least if you're not a super heavy sleeper. Oh, look, here comes I'm getting buzzed right now. I don't know if it's going to pick up on the microphone, but look at those large shapes. This is another thing that I got. I mean, look, dude, am I a serpent? Is this what's happening here? Or is it just a low light situation? But then why those specific patterns like that? Oh, good. I think we're going to get this buzz here, so you can see what I'm talking about. Hopefully this will add to the audio on this. All right, now look at this with my lips here. You're going to see look at that pattern shape. You see like a zigzag pattern, and you see the mouth extending larger. And it could just be that what we're seeing is the shadow and the compression creates this larger form. But also look, I got jaggy teeth, just like I was showing on Ike, so maybe I was wrong about Ike. Completely wrong. Sorry, buddy, if I'm wrong. But I don't know how you go from regular teeth to having these jaggy teeth like that, plus all these weird shapes. But I'll concede, I should have done more testing like this to see, since I've got a human being that I can test it on. Look at those tiles. Look at these. Did you see that shape? That curving around shape? And on my right eye there, you really see these, it looks like tiles going all around the eye. But if that was serpent tiles, a reptilian tiles, I think it would be a little bit more organized, because you see all kinds of weird shapes. See, look at that. That looks like an alligator. You see how there's a little dot in the middle of each tile? It looks like an alligator. Is this a reptilian skin surface that somehow it's coming through? I mean, it could be. We don't know. There are really weird things going on here. But with me, at least, we got somebody who tried to put everything out there, as bad as it might look. Look at that ear. That ear doesn't look right. It looks like it's filled in. There's no proper indentations. And look at those bumps. You see those bumps? Look at that. Maybe if there's more, certain effects, you get more bumps. But could that be demonic texture? Or some kind of shape-shifting that comes out because my spirit body is reptilian or something, and then some people have more of it and some people have less, and then more or less will show up in the video. But again, remember also, this is when I switch to the black and white, little splotches that don't look like holes suddenly look like holes because those colors are darker. But you have to ask yourself, why those specific patterns? You see here on my nose, this really looks like little patterns. So a lot of this stuff could just be these color splotches that show up in the video compression, and then under certain other conditions they become craters. So one thing I probably have to do is go back to a lot of my videos that shows this cratering and refer them to this video and others that may discuss what that cratering is. But it really does, it looks like the flesh is morphing. You see those patterns? You see that? It looks, see that jaggy shape there on my cheek? And then it disappears in the next frame. And it looks weird. You see like all these little bumps, these little holes, and you see again kind of a jaggy shape to the teeth and the lips bleeding and so forth. And you'll notice a fang there. See that? You see the triangular shape? I mean, what the hell is that? Why are you getting that specific fang-like shape? I mean, I think maybe I'm a serpent, dude. I mean, I mean, really though, the only way that I can really know about this, like I said, is if we do a control study with at least 20 people, maybe even just 10. But I mean, those people could end up being shapeshifters or demonically possessed. You don't know. But here's the thing. Look at that open mouth. You see that I pointed out on Kurt Russell and some other people. I mean, you can really see that. You see that jagging shape, and then you see like these little triangle shapes inside that could be teeth. And you notice how also the teeth you do see in the main ones are slanted. You see how they slant off to the right like that? And again, see that pattern shape? You get that weird squiggly pattern. What the heck is that? And also the mouth. You see the tiles on the mouth and the way it opens up wider like that? I also got a gap in the teeth, which if it is only a video error that causes these types of artifacts, then that would explain the gap, for instance, on Obama's teeth. But I didn't see anything that approaches what I got on in the Obama Vampirana. You see that texture that looks like reptilian tiles. You see those dark spots? How specific that is? But remember, this is converted to black and white, so. But you also, again, you see that patterning on the wall next to it, which I've also noticed before. But I felt that it had to do something with the auric field of these shapeshifters. But unless I'm also a shapeshifter, and I may be, and didn't notice it, then it also is once again affecting the wall. But it could be that that it's an energy field that all people have, but then I don't think that makes sense as far as what the splotching goes, making those holes, because you can get those. I got those splotches on areas where it wasn't even close to where I was. But I think it's you know, it's until more study is done, we can't see. There's the gap. You see from frame to frame. One frame it shows up, one frame it disappears. And you see, look at that. This like a squiggling, weird, you know, kind of a weird leaf pattern. It's like, why? Why do you get that? Why do you get that shape? But notice you get it mostly in the shadow. And as I turn the color back on here, you can see that green. And it's just strange. What is that? What is that if that's not a shape-shifting or demonic, you know? I think well, we could very well find out. I turn up the color here so that you can see it a little bit more. Turn up the saturation, but you see it. You see that all over the place, and it probably just so happens that it follows the patterns of the face, and that's why you get those shapes. So again, when you see that texture, it's probably not shape-shifting. It's probably a a video effect, but it looks suspiciously like shape-shifting because you can see these patterns that seem to follow the features of the face, and it looks like tiling. Or it could be, to even be even more confusing to throw into the mix, it could be a combination of auric or demonic possession. Okay, pretty scary stuff, huh? All right, so I know I'm going to lose a lot of you, and I probably will be held under the fire for this, and they're going to show these slit eyes everywhere. But, I think that I thought about not showing it because it would make people lose confidence in an already confusing situation, but I don't think that I would be an honest reporter if I didn't do some testing, and then if I did discover something that perhaps showed that some of the previous work that I did was not in fact reptilian shapeshifting, and or I am a reptilian shapeshifter, just like I think perhaps maybe David Icke is. I don't know, because like I said, it's hard to understand this, but this is an emerging science. This is new. This isn't something that at least publicly hasn't been done, and until also we have a shapeshifter, a reptilian serpent, willing to come forward, and I don't think they will, because I think that they're under mandate, or they just, when you have enough DNA to shapeshift, you just you just know that this is something that you got to keep under wraps. And if they and they're pretty confident about that. But if there is somebody who might come forward who really can shapeshift from human to reptilian, they're gonna make bloody sure that that guy doesn't talk. And I think they have, mind control over anybody who might possibly show those features or latently show their reptilian shapeshifting. I think in my case, if it is not a video error, it could possibly be, latent shapeshifting, but I think what it is, if it's not a video error, it's demonic possession. That what you're seeing, what I really am, is a demon, or my personality is made up of demons. And Chris Lasala knows a lot more about this than I do. His work is pretty interesting. I really haven't checked it all out, but you know, the fact of demons is something that we have to take into account. And now that I've seen some of this, more stuff about demons, then I'm going to get into it and see what more I can find. But I think that could be what we're looking at. But then again, it could just be a video error. And that's why we need what we really need. And Chris Turner and I from Chris Turner from Elephant in the Room's pictures, films, sorry. We were talking about possibly getting together and working on something that could be a scientific breakdown of all this, because I think it's a new science, because we have to deal with several confusing factors, video errors, and all sorts of other stuff. But one thing I can say about this is that, as I looked at the whole of this test, and there's more footage I'm going to show, including big triangular slit eyes that showed up, and some lips around tiles around my lips when I was going like this, have a reptilian kiss. That looked really disgusting and reptilian. And I mean, it could be the whole time. If Blade Runner is any clue about what they think about me, they think I'm a dragon or something. I did have that thought. One thing too also is that the veins in my forehead form a V, and I've noticed that V shape is a feature. It appears to be a feature of the dragons. Let me see if I can get it to show up. You see that? So, okay. Um, I wonder if, that the reason why my veins form like that, and you see plenty of people like that, but I just kind of wonder if that isn't a sign that I'm a serpent. And it could be. I mean, I don't mean a shapeshifter because, like I said, I think I would have noticed it. But you know, my spirit body, my spirit, because it's all this stuff we don't really know. Some people know it because they can see beyond, but it's not common knowledge. We don't have a science. We don't have a you know video thing that we can show it because the spirit body is invisible. When you leave your body, that spirit standing there in the spirit world is invisible. And I think it has to remain that way because we have to live in faith. We have to. The reason why there isn't like a clear God doesn't just make it fully obvious for everyone is that you have to live in this reality and make your choices based on faith or no faith, and you'll be led into faith if you're going to follow God, or to hell if you're going to follow Satan. So that's my take on it, and who knows what the reality is until I can prove it. I like to keep an open mind, and so I'm going to show more of this later, some more effects, and so that's really just part one of the self-test that I did, and I know it looks pretty nasty, and you know what can I say? That we got to be honest with the truth. We got to be an honest broker of the truth, no matter how bad it looks. Even if actually I would be a little bit more happy about being a serpent than being wrong, but it looks like it could be both. So there it is.
I so must seal